The big story today is Eli Lilly. And I just want to talk briefly about this because, well, this is important to me as an individual because my family has a history of Alzheimer's, and this is a relatively significant development. Eli Lilly stock is up nicely today, 3.5%. Again, coming off of this kind of range-bound area that we've seen. This thing is overbought as can be, but there has been a lot of speculation building up to this study that effectively came out this morning. And CNN reporting that the experimental Alzheimer's drug slowed decline in patients' ability to think clearly and perform daily tasks, slowed declines in their ability to think clearly and perform daily tasks by more than a third in a large clinical trial, according to a statement from Eli Lilly on Wednesday. Based on the results, early symptomatic Alzheimer's disease, Lilly said, it plans to file for approval from the FDA by the end of June. The medicine, something that I could not pronounce if I tried 40 times, donanemab, works by removing plaque buildups in the brain known as amyloid that are a hallmark of Alzheimer's disease. Obviously, this is very, very critical. Roughly 1,700 patients for 18 months have been involved in this trial. Now, Eli Lilly, as a stock itself, currently trading at $418.76. It's up $14.56. The total focus here on this, only a couple of analysts were bold enough to really come out ahead of this trial and make these big moves in the last couple of days and weeks. So you've got a wall right here. If you look at this number, right, 396.50. Down 5.9%. No. Pay attention to this list of analysts. There are plenty of analysts who cover this stock. Pay attention to the people who have come out in the last 5-6 days. And the new upside targets, 478 is the most bullish. That's out of Morgan Stanley's Terrence Finn. That's about a 15.7% upside. Cantor Fitzgerald going all the way up at 485, 16.8. The only person who took the downside, Goldman Sachs, 312. Oops, stock continuing to rip higher. But I do think it is important to always take a step back and understand no matter who the bank is, whether it's Goldman Sachs, whether it's Morgan, whoever the analyst is, you've got a wall of people here all saying buy, all either assigning or reiterating their buy upgrade. It's important to always take a little bit of an understanding to dig deeper into why Goldman Sachs made the statement that it did. I think we'd have to try to dig a little bit deeper into the actual report itself. I have to actually find that. But right now, obviously, things looking bullish. And now the question is, should people be jumping onto this train? Well, the key thing that you want to focus on now, you want to take a step back, look at the 30-minute charts, right? This thing has moved in a constant wave over the last week and a half of higher highs and higher lows. So you've been pushing higher. You've gotten up to this 375 line. It's kind of found a little bit of support here. But pay very close attention to the RSI, the MFI, the ADX. This thing crossing over positive yesterday, it is starting to scream much, much higher. And the MACD turning positive on the 30-minute. On the 1 hour, obviously, this is moving toward overbought territory as well. In this type of environment, the thing that you want to be doing, particularly as a day trader, is just analyzing where the stock is in the current setup of the day. This stock's pulled back, obviously, from early pre-market news. We were as high as 442 this morning, and now we're down here at around 418. We're still nowhere near volume-weighted average price, which is at 422. And what you're looking for is you're probably going to see some range-bound trading, some things bouncing back and forth. If we look at this stock going back to yesterday, as you can see, we had a sell-off with the broader part of the market down to 399. But once you kind of cool off and you move into a lower volume environment, as has been marked by after that 10:30 hour into around that 1:30 period. Once you get down to that second standard deviation band at the bottom under the volume weighted average price, we've seen a little bit of bidding in recent trading days. So down here, you wait, you stalk, you find this low volume period. Yesterday it was at 1 o'clock. We went from 399 up to 405 yesterday. And if you're just trading a near-dated option on Lilly, you can do relatively well just trading that and setting your stops back here with these bands. So that's kind of the one individual strategy. From a long-term perspective, people who are looking to trade this now coming right off this band, we've just broken above volume weighted average price. We're moving back above 423. If you're day trading this, This line, as Kenny has explained multiple times, is your line in the sand. This is where you ultimately use your protection moving forward. And you say, all right, I'm going to buy this stock right here at 433.32. Your exit point is 422.39. And it's there for the rest of the day. And if it breaks under, you're out. If it breaks higher, you start to then take some profits at your next level. And if you're trading options around this, you're going to be focusing on the short-term duration, obviously, in that regard. So look, if you bought it here, you're just playing with it here. You're waiting for some time to see if it breaks lower. Just broke lower, you'd be out of the position. You lose $2. Not a huge deal, but it's just a matter of managing your expectations. I will say that simply looking at the way that this has popped at the beginning of the day, if you get up here, you get up to 436 today, that's not where you want to be buying this stock. You don't want to be buying this stock in overbought conditions in an environment where there is a significant focus on the Federal Reserve, which is where we're going to jump into at the moment. Sorry, I'm speaking fast today. I just drank my coffee. All right. So Lilly, again, we're going to see some upgrades here. We're probably going to see all of these people down here in the Cohens and the Evercore and the Argus make their moves in the next couple of days in terms of their reports. I'm sure SocGen is going to get away from its sell recommendation. I'm sure that Andrew Baum at Citigroup has something to say as well. Probably see a wave of upgrades on this stock. Price target for this stock is probably going to be somewhere between 435 and probably 450 for the large group of analysts moving forward on Eli Lilly. Finally, one last thing, just looking at Lilly, just from a shareholder perspective, very strong F-score, relatively good capital discipline, obviously, within this organization. That's obviously important. Relatively strong balance sheet, very low debt problems, relatively strong margins. Fair value for the stock, this is saying 261.64. Can't necessarily disagree with that, considering that you've got this wall of very high valuations. This is priced at 65 times earnings. It is a biotech stock. I do understand that, but the price to free cash flow is up near 100, and the EV to EBIT is somewhere around 60. So there are other places to put money right now if you missed this wave